wild. Bredman was running a sniper. That we saw them have a little bit of issues in that early game trying to get Joewo back, and for being in 13th, that's actually not a bad start for them.
Yeah, well, game number 2 is ready. It's time to head into it. And Nigma, we'll catch you after this one. Talk to me about what you see, because we're going to be learning along the way. But let's get into game number 2 and see which team comes out on top. Will it be a repeat already? Well, they're certainly going to try to start like that. Fairly aggressive start yet again, dropping UAVs and everything in between. Because, Tiff, when we talk to these players, you know what they say every single time? They say, we know we can win every single gunfight, and we've got to play like it. We are going to push every single person we see. We are going to take every single gunfight with confidence, because that's the key to our success.
And you're not going to find more confident people than Shifty and Biffle right now, especially coming off that game 1. You go right back to Hydro, you start doing exactly what you did in game 1, because why would you change anything considering the success that you had? Yes, that circle is going to start pulling a little bit differently than we had in game 1. Now, mind you, if you just tuned in, game number 1 ended Rohan Oil. We're here on Hydro Electric. They're already throwing up UAVs. They took out the counter UAVs at the team in front of them to give them that more information. You can see we already have line of sight and information on where that player is. So Biffle is just kind of maneuvering ever so closely, trying to find that perfect angle to take this team down.
Yeah, and as a reminder, it is duos, but we saw 8 eliminations from one player and 14 eliminations from the other for this duo. So a ridiculous stat when you think about not only is it duos, but it's 98 players on the map, and you're able to drop 22 kills. Absolutely ridiculous. We'll see if anybody can better it, though. Who knows? This is duos customs in a brand new tournament format. Kind of incentivizes a little bit more of an aggressive play style up into a point, up into that 100-point threshold. If you have questions on this format, this match point format, please ask. Obviously, we are been well experienced with explaining it, and we'll continue to do so today. But wow, yeah, nobody questions Diazbiffle Gunny because he's able to put it on a kind of display like that.
Yeah, it's really tough. If I'm Killers in Austin at this point, I chowed Biffle and Shifty in game number 1. That was their initial bounty from that game, and immediately get taken out here in Hydro as well. Hopefully they'll win their gulags, but at that point, I'm picking a different drop spot.
Yeah, no question. If you are being contested on your drop spot by the team at the top, a team that is likely the best team in the game, yeah, maybe it's time to find somewhere else, because you need points on the board. If you try to keep contesting the team at the top, and even if you win 1 out of the next 4 maps, you're going to be so far behind. You've got to get to 100 points, and you got to get there as fast as possible. Go find another spot, think on your feet, pivot, and see what you can do. Definitely the key to your success today. But Echo and Smix trying to kind of better themselves from the last game. They had a decent map, but nothing to write home about. Would love to get double-digit limbs this time around if they can. And it looks like they've kind of landed out here on the outskirts of the map as kind of per the usual, but it seemingly there's a couple other teams here too.
Always a lot of teams here, and
Hello.
One's gonna push Smix. He runs right into her, and she cuts him down in the stairway. Not a bad. Now we just gotta look for the teammate. Echo falling incredibly low, able to grab that knock, but it's gonna be Waldo, but someone comes in through the window. That's gonna be Sir, and just like that, when you're fighting 2 different teams and you are split, not gonna be the best start that you want.
Yeah, multiple teams landing there, so they got attacked kind of from a couple different angles and couldn't kind of take down the same team. And that is one thing I will say as a duo. You really do want to focus on one duo rather than getting your attention split. They were just a little too much split in duos to be able to deal with both, but Solidify able to deal with one kind of coming up the stairwell here. Nice read on the audio cues. And continues to hear some footsteps nearby. He's going to take this nice and slow because, well, Inxian is nowhere to be found. It's going to be in the gulag. But luckily, you do have your loadout weapon. Grabs a little bit more loot and just plays the angles. Nice spot.
It's pretty tough, right? My biggest worry here is if someone decides to rotate up onto kind of the highway area above them, the bridge, but he did calm that he had one on him. But Exact right now running into a little bit of mix, able to get through that doorway before the Semtex could kind of connect Jace out a little bit further ahead. Now, mind you, that stronghold in the distance is giving their position away, but this is something we were talking about. This isn't the ranked playlist. It will show you who takes over that black site. I think Destroy was going to be one of them, so that's going to give away their immediate position. A little unfortunate for that, but what can you do?
Yeah, we were talking a little bit about that during the break. We'll harp on that more as it comes into play. But if you're on match point and you go for the black site, everyone's going to know where you are. You're going to have 48 teams rushing the black site trying to take you out, so you can't finish off the tournament. But yeah, I think the early game is kind of characterized by the battle for the strongholds, right? Everybody wants those strongholds to get their loadouts. Everybody wants those strongholds for the kind of like micro UAV that surrounds it. And anytime you can gain information about a POI, especially one that you land on, certainly the better. But continue to swap perspectives and tune into some of the other streams. Right Up playing today, a fantastic content creator and a fantastic competitor, I might add. Looking to hopefully better his team's position in this map. My goodness. 8 fully out of this lobby. Not enough cash to get a buyback either. Huge blender right now and is just trying to get out of dodge, but a very difficult wraparound. There's little to no cover. A couple smokes might help, but keep running, my friend.
You have to stay calm too, and that's so tough, especially with Al Mazrah having such wide open spaces throughout. And yes, you've got smokes, but it doesn't matter. These teams are just going to use their cast off and just keep firing if they see any inkling of your rotational ability. But back on board with Chrissy. Finished quite high up in the placements in map number 1, but just didn't have enough elimination. So I'm looking for them to kind of go on more of an aggressive front, get a little more elimination. So once they hit those higher multipliers, it'll be more beneficial for them. But Exact and Jace, they look like they're going to actually try to cap this stronghold so that they can benefit from the UAV themselves.
Yeah, I think it's a great shout. Something that you definitely want to do just to make sure you clear all of your angles at this POI. And they do have some visual cues of maybe where their opponents would be. There's the live ping going out. Great spot there from Jason. Exact. Gonna be a tough one to knock from distance. The question is, do you push this? I think after maybe you grab the stronghold, you do. Jason is maybe going to push out a little bit by himself here. He does have a decent angle to help out, but not a great one. Exact trying to throw down covering fire, but it comes down to Jason off screen. Jace does grab the elimination. Well done.
That's a full elim on to Almond. The rated be somewhere nearby because we didn't see necessarily a team wipe. But keeping eyes all open and keeping all eyes on the Christmas tree, seeing all the content creators with trees in their background, I'm thinking I messed up. Like maybe I should have put a Christmas tree. I'm just gonna dog bed in the back for my dog when she decides to show up. But checking back in, Bredman, Joewo looking a little bit better here in that early game compared to game number 1. Both of them up into the mix of things. Nearby a stronghold for them as well.
Yeah, strongholds, buy stations, key to success of early game. Definitely something that a lot of teams like to camp in the early game if they're set up decently inside the zone. This one, not so much. Brad in trouble. Goes down to about 10 HP. It's going to be up to Joewo. Down from a bottom angle here. Doesn't really have a spot to shoot down on the player. And Red might get pushed, but I think their opponents are on outside of zone as well. So as the zone continues to creep in, this buy station gets kind of pushed out into the gas. It's going to be a tough fight to win, but it's Picnic that goes down. Joewo now pushing the advantage by himself, and he doesn't hear any more footsteps. So Picnic might have been all by his lonesome. Maybe grabbed a quick buyback, and his teammate was floating regardless. A nice win by this duo. Grab the remaining things they need from the buy, and they're going to move on their merry way into the zone.
Yeah, Picnic playing with Oakley Boy. So maybe he'll be in the distance. You can hear the comms coming in. They just had a UAV pop by them, so they've got alert that there's someone in the area. Huskerrs and Z Smith looking to have a better game than their map number 1. And talking about rotations here now, start thinking about kind of where they need to go. A lot of our teams have been playing just a little bit further on the outskirts, right? But Z picks a little bit too far and gets punished immediately for it.
Tuning back in with the top of the leaderboard. Biffle, Shifty on 44 and 3 showing this map for Biffle. Continuing to stay on the aggressive stance. Continuing to kind of push the edge of zone where needed to find eliminations. And these are the moments maybe you wish you had a sniper, right? You can only have 1 sniper per team per the rules, and you can't use the signal 50. So a fairly limiting selection. MCPR maybe, but right now most teams favoring AR SMG as per the usual. And as we head over to Zyro and Louisiana, we have a lot of Zyro fans in the chat. They had an okay map 1. Would love to hopefully get a win or a top 5 finish. And Louis goes down, but a nice cover there from Zyro. Unfortunately, there's an angle up top. Louis doesn't get full thirsted, but Zyro's in trouble, and it sounds like the comms are flying that you're getting chased. Clamp pushes, cleans up Louis. Finds him. Zyro opens up another angle. Clamp though wins it. Proned out drop shot. See you later, Zyro. Goat Clamp goes massive.
Dang, you hear the kind of talking about what went wrong there. We should have just backed off. Now, Zyro totally could have, right? But you could also get shot in the back when backing off. So it's a really risky scenario there, but it was a good effort to push forward, and Zyro played the best he could there. But Exact and 4 and Jace have made their way inside the building. A PA on the outskirts, but it's not going to protect you just yet. Yeah. Yeah, it did hurt you bad there, huh?
Super River goes down. That's DJ Moss is going to be his teammate for the day, I believe. And looking to find him from distance. Ev got cleaned up potentially. Don't see the footstep. This will be Exact first if he can find it. I'm not sure how many Jace has, but Jace has kind of been playing the aggressive player of the duo. And this is something we're kind of seeing fall into place over the last map and a half or so that we've seen, is that sometimes we're seeing one player kind of push forward and play a little bit more aggressive, with the other kind of playing a little bit of Overwatch, kind of similar to the way things work in trios, but a little less room for error as we check out Soka and Skullface and what they're doing inside of zone.
They had a pretty solid finish in map number 1, but it wasn't enough eliminations to kind of get them into that top 10, so they're not going to be too pleased with that and looking to find something better here in map number 2. But FIFA scumming on your screen, hitting the res on the train. Not too bad for a little bit of stealth kind of rotation here and some good loot. We can see we've got the mobile buy station. We've got a mortar strike. You have the stealth vest, but someone is here because Scumming gets completely fooled. You get toasted. And the calm comes in. There's 2 there. Shaded Step was going to be the one that took down Scumming. Oh, but do it. No, dude, no. Not worth it. We did not get the line of sight, but that was actually at the hands of, I did see Juki's name pop up. Yeah, there you go. Unfortunate. Not the same guy.
Yeah, hard to see all of the different players, but I think there were 2 other teams in the area. That's what you're saying. Was it the same guy? No, I think you're right. I think it was Shaded Step and OP Marked, at least had an angle on the train. And then it was Juki's pushing in from the other side on the ground that catches FIFA on the rotation. I was trying to see if he was going to be able to make it out, but no. Alas. And yet again, another team in a blender. Huskerrs teammate down. Z-Smith out of it currently.
Yeah, but I have this.
And Huskerrs is going to try to find something as a portable buy is flying in. Maybe could get it off. The problem is he's gonna have to win potentially a 1v2. Finds one, cracks it, pushes the fight. Not enough to find it, because especially when you're fighting Biffle and Shifty at the same time, good luck, my friend. Great effort, but definitely not enough.
Bro, it's like sharks in the water at this point, just baiting him to peek one side and the other one just steps in. So that's how you're talking about the chemistry that we've seen throughout the, like, lo and behold, all the tournaments that they've been playing. They just have each other's back, stacking it, knowing and working in cohesion to kind of just go about that. But Exact caught out in the open, forced to throw the smoke, ducks for cover.
Right dead ahead of me where we came from, that long building.
I love their comps, Tef.
Yeah, I was like, I just needed to tune into that and hear kind of how.
Let's do a quick listen in with this duo. This is a really influential fight. They're playing Edge of Zone. Production, if we could turn up their comms, let's do a listen in with Exact and 4 and Jace.
He's got to be like in a bedroom.
Am I close right?
Stairs. We knocked him. One more there. I'm plating. We got a knock. We're fine. I'm coming up second right now. I'm jumping in. I'm second right now. He's roof, okay? Eddie's gonna play roof and try to... Hey, he's trying to run over here. He crossed into this building here. That's his smoke. I gotta plate. I don't have full plates. I gotta loot Tom's body for plates, okay?
I hear you. I pinged him. There's still kids live as well, up top.
Heard you on that. There's a durable.
Right back. Let's just leave here.
Yeah, that's fine.
I have a durable.
Yeah, okay, perfect. He just rests behind us right here. You see this? Row right and look right here.
You have a durable too, right?
Yep. He might be in this garage or something. I don't know where he's at. Oh, he's getting fried.
It's going to white.
Yeah. Get in there ASAP. We have 3 holds. 3 holds for sure. One's at the radio tower already. Another team's coming in from bridge. Okay, radio tower. His back is going to be to us, I'm pretty sure. He's going to be inside of it. They were beaming him. He can't leave it. He's still there. I'm nading it. Can you nade?
I have one nade.
He rode to the other side. Nah, he went on the other side. There he goes. Fried him. One shot. Dead. I didn't get it, though, I don't think.
Nice, good shit.
I didn't get it. They got it. Let's go ahead and bump to medic. Again.
Tiff, what a fun listen-in with this duo. A duo that has seen the light of competitive scene for a long time, but we didn't get a chance to see them at World Series of Warzone, and they are locked in. And I love the comms about all the different teams around them and where they could be, how they can address them from a couple different angles, who they're spotting, and they're doing it in a very clean fashion. Sometimes those comms can get really chaotic. That was very, very clean while still being high-paced.
Yeah, some people just love to hear themselves talk, but that was all very efficient. Every bit of the comms that we heard was just, here's the location. We have 3 holds from here, and you can see that Believe and Intex, they're actually going to be one of the teams that were getting held by Orange, Jace, and Exact, trying to hit that rotation, and it's one of the toughest rotates to make because these buildings ahead north of this buy station that you can see on your left are always occupied, and there's plenty of windows for angles to get onto this waterway. So taking the water like Intex is doing is the safest course of action for himself. He's got that mobile buy station coming in, does have the cash to go ahead and get Believe back, but yep, nice. There it goes. Clean. Love that for them.
Yeah, great rotation through the water. Probably will get cleaned up here, but at least Believe can fly back in. They've got a great game going. 11 kills in duos is huge. 6-5, and they're going into what I'll call the late game. The Gulag is now officially closed. There's 23 teams left. We're looking at a pretty sizable multiplier right now, right, Tiff? I mean, top 20 will get you into the 1.4 times multiplier. That's what they're vying for, and with Believe floating, they will likely get there.
Jukies and Lennon working together right now, pushing forward straight towards a duo, and just lets it fly. To your left, he's giving callouts to Lennon right now, and flies back in, finds some weapons, repositions.
Juki's Lennon combo was a crowd favorite in London, and doing pretty solid this game around, and I think they're going to have a chance to make it into the top 10, or at least make it upside, potentially to top 5 if they keep up this pace. A nice several eliminations between the two, but they got to get to some cover here, and they're getting shot from behind. One on top of the angle. No, Juki's goes down, but can Lennon get the cover? No. Does find the elimination, but loses Juki's in the process. If they have a flare, Juki's can float back in, but we saw what happened to the players that got flared in at the end. They just get cleaned up by whoever has the best position at the end. That was Diaz and Shifty last time. We'll see who it is this time around. If you get the flare off now, though, make it into the top 10, get down to the ground, hopefully find some weapons. You could actually be a threat. Down to final 14 teams. We are moving quickly through the ranks right now, as it looks like team on screen, Oakley Boy and Picnic having to rotate into some cover as a mortar comes in from another angle.
Last we saw, they were running into Breadman and Joewo over in Village. They've made it back to where both players are up. Do have durable, tempered, but you are going to have to withstand this precision airstrike, diving straight into the smoke, chasing this team. They do have tracker on. Semtex is trying to deter, but they are not going to stop. It is a relentless pursuit, but they are just on the outskirts of the next circle, working together in unison. But this is going to be really tough with 13 squads remaining here in this circle. Comms, they want to play for this house. There's no way it's free. No way.
There's probably at least one duo sitting inside the house. A great spot too, high ground, edge of zone. This is a kind of must-win position, especially if the next zone pulls up to this side. Let's see. We'll see it in 3, 2, 1. No, dead center. There are 2 buildings technically touching, but just a lot of terrain to work with. Win this encounter. You can look down on the high ground. Picnic wins it and takes the actual team wipe too. They've got a great position here to look over as the zone collapses and potentially pick up a couple teams rotating in. I love this spot for them. They've made it into the top 10, and look who's down below getting fried. It's Biffle and Shifty. They've got a decent spot, but look who is fighting them. That's Oakley Boy and Picnic at the top of the hill, and guess what they're using? The vehicles. We talked about it. LTV strat. When there's not a lot of cover, use the vehicles to make cover for yourself, but still finding and raining bullets from above, finding 1, 2, potentially 3 teams down below that they could pick up, down to the final 6 teams.
They don't even have to jump off. They can kind of walk it down, clearing as they go. They just took out Blade. Got a team wipe there. I do know Biffle and Co are still alive, but moving on to the next building. I love the utilization of Semtex to try and connect and maybe look for some people in there, but he doesn't even need it this time. Now the Semtex to follow suit. He's gonna push them out. Tracker to follow. Here we go, behind through the gas, and just like that, another one down to the final 3.
Raul goes down, final 3 teams, and I can only assume Biffle and Shifty are one of those teams. Could they go back to back? And yes, they are both still alive. Getting shot from distance still from Oakley and Picnic, who have arguably the better position. Look at this zone pull. It is all the way across. They can wrap down to the right, but Biffle doesn't have a gas mask. He needs to create cover for himself, create an opening by finding a knock, and it's going to come down to Shifty. Shifty picks up Joewo. Joewo goes down. It's a 2v2 again. Biffle, Shifty could do it again. Both teams having to rotate, one on high, one on low. The question is who's going to push the equation, and it looks like Oakley Boy's just going to fly at them. And they've got to hear him coming. Yes, Biffle finds him in the gas, but it doesn't have a gas mask. Is going to have to play the smart with little to no help. Finds one. No. Goes down. Biffle out of it. It's all up to Shifty. It's a 1v2 against Picnic and Oak Boy, and they don't get it. Picnic, Oak Boy win the map. 24-point game. About a quarter of what they need to get to the 100-point threshold, Tiff. But the question remains, how many kills did Biffle and Shifty get? Because they still grabbed the 1.8 multiplier.
A 1.8 is still huge, but a 24-point game out of Picnic and Oakley Boy, despite having gone from that initial mid-game where they kind of had to go throughout the regains from Village. It was a really tough moment there, but clearing that house and keeping high ground was kind of the ticket for their success here. We were talking about it, like, look, this is how you win. High ground is key, especially in that move. Shifty initially fell in that engagement. He was the first one of that duo to be picked off, and it kind of